Hi, Linda.
Hi, Hi, Tammy.
How are ya?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm anxious to hear this information.
Excellent. Hey, Laura.
Good afternoon. Did my email make sense about the recording?
I don't know how to do that. So, and you know,
Okay.
Ken McCrory is my tech specialist, and so he can make it work if,
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah,
know
I
how to,
just-
you
Oh,
know,
no,
make that all work.
Oh, I get it in my cloud account. And as soon as it downloads, I can put it on a flash drive and bring it over. I can't tell, but up in the upper left-hand corner, does it say it's recording?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great.
Can I have this one? Thank you.
We will wait one more minute before we get started, just to see if anyone else joins us. Okay, I have 2:01, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. The purpose of this is to share with all of you just exactly what we understand to be the impact in, say, December through early spring semester. We'll be showing you a little bit of what that design looks like, but we're not going to go into detail. So if you have questions about specific design elements, you'll need to contact me directly. But it will be more of how do we get prepared for next semester, because there will be some significant changes as we move forward with all of this. So the next slide shares with you how we got into this, and that is the building was built in 1971, and it's not been significantly changed since then. You can go to the next slide. We hired someone to come in and help with the master plan, and basically our goals for that was to prepare for the future of CNAS, to enable research and increase the visibility of science on campus. And so that's what we're going to be working towards, and that's what we have been working towards. One of the things that the master plan study showed us was that we just didn't have enough teaching lab space, research lab space, and then the support space for those things. We also didn't have enough space for graduate students or just general student spaces. So you will see in this design is there are lots and lots of labs, essentially no new classrooms, and then lots of student spaces and more spaces for graduate students. So next slide. It was determined fairly early on that the addition would go in that pink area, which is right in front of the lecture halls, not on top of them, but right in front of them. It will attach at that north end, as well as attach by the doors by my office. So that's kind of where it will be attaching to the building. The gray thing on the right, the darker gray, is the football stadium. And the gray thing on the left is Kemper Hall. So we can go to the next one. This is a line drawing of kind of what it will look like. So it will have a basement, 4 stories. The 5th story there is just all mechanical. And it will go right in front of the lecture halls. You might see a little indentation on the left side, and that is there will be an entrance there that will get them in and close to the lecture halls very easily. Let's go to the next slide. So we're going to go through just very, very quickly. The basement that will be built, and that'll be in the dark part, will connect with the basement hallways that we already have with Temple Hall. So the basement here includes a teaching lab, a computer lab, a mechanical room, a chemical storeroom, another storeroom for biology, and then there will be all the freezers that are all over the place in the building will be in a freezer farm, so we can have them all hooked up to one generator. Also on every floor of the building, including the basement, there will be both men's and women's restrooms, as well as a single-use restroom, and that will be true on every floor of the new buildings, so that we don't have what we have right now. So let's look at first floor. Once again, the shaded gray is the original part of the building. The lighter colored with dark outline is the new part of the building. The part to the upper part, which would be north on this map, is a giant research lab for biology. And then the college dean's office will be in the new part of the building. The old dean's office will eventually get converted to offices for the Center for Resource Planning and Management. We'll also have our student success office will be in this area, as well as a great deal of student spaces there. So next slide. This is second floor, primarily biology. So it's all teaching labs and research labs. On the north wall there is spaces for not all, but many of the graduate students for biology. There will also be a departmental suite for biology on second floor that will be designated so that it'll be easier for students to find spaces there. All right, let's go to the next one. Third floor is GGP primarily, but it's also got a couple of biology research labs as well. Same kind of outline, you know, labs on both sides of a hallway, graduate student spaces, the GGP suite will be there. The difference between this and second floor is third floor will not be open at all. So third floor will be filled in. We'll go from first floor up to third floor, and it'll be somewhat of an atrium, kind of like the pit area, except third floor is fully filled in. So that will be a great deal of student space there. Also a very large conference room on the north end. And that part of that is it saves us a whole lot of money on fire suppression if we don't have it open all the way to the roof. So let's go to fourth floor. Fourth floor has the chemistry department suite. It has graduate students and then teaching and research labs there as well. And as I mentioned, every floor has both men's and women's restrooms, as well as a single-use restroom. So let's look at the next one. This is just the roof kind of thing. We can go on. So this is another view of what it might look like. There will be a lot more daylight coming in, so a lot more windows rather than all of the concrete that we've got with the current building. And there will be still space between us and the football stadium. Next slide. This would be the new entrance on the north side of the building. So this would be the main entrance. The dean's office would just be to the left, with then biology, GGP, and chemistry office suites just above that right there as you enter the building. Let's go to the next one. This one shows not only will we have that new entrance, but the old entrance on the north side of the building will also remain. So we'll have two north entrances, all the same west entrances, and pretty much the same south entrances. Go ahead to the next one. This is just kind of a start of a drawing of what some of the student spaces would look like. We've not picked out furniture or anything like that. So these are very, very raw drawings. Next one. You know, could have some lighting features. Next one. There will be a giant stairwell between the basement and first floor that would go up to the lecture halls. And remember, in the basement, we've got a teaching lab, a computer lab down there. So there will be traffic back and forth, as well as some student study areas and just some general student spaces. Next one. Some of the graduate student space. Next one is a research lab, but I know most of you have seen those, and those have been designed so they're all different and appropriate for what will go in there. Next slide. More student spaces in the atrium. Next slide. And then another view of the atrium. Next slide.
And that's me.
Okay. And now I'm gonna let Laura talk about, okay, so which sidewalks are we gonna go close off? Where are they gonna put up the fences? Where can you get in and out of the building? And those kinds of things. So I'll turn it over to Laura.
All right. For those of you that don't know, I'm Laura Derrick. I'm the project manager for the project out of Plain Design and Construction. So this you can see in the middle. Let me go over here. This is where the addition will be. Right now, where all the major deliveries will come down Carrington Drive. We're putting in a new little drive here. There'll be fencing that goes all along the south side of the mall sidewalk, all the way through down over to Carrington Drive. And then there'll be other access points. Let's go to the next one. So this is just kind of a close-up. The items in that little pink dot, those are daily deliveries. So you'll be seeing fork trucks, pickup trucks, that type of thing that will come into the job site through here. This entrance on the north, this side will remain open at all times. The access from underneath the stadium, both south entrances will be accessible at all times. All of the east entrance where the courtyard is will not be accessible. So you'll have to come in either from the south or from the west, or this one entrance on the north. And this is just kind of a schematic of what we see that looking like. So there'll be fencing all the way down either side of the sidewalk, and then this walk will remain open into the building. And we will have a tower crane on the property, generally in this location. And then leaving Carrington, the walkway
So
that
Laura,
goes.
we can't see you moving anything
Is it
or
here
what you're
now?
pointing to. Oh, maybe
Yes.
now you can.
You can now? Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So you
There
may
are two-
get some questions, and everybody, you can ask questions when
Yeah.
Laura gets through this.
Yeah, sorry, I've got two screens and I don't know which one's which. So the access from Grand up through Old King Street underneath the stadium will remain open at all times. We've got some gates here that will close just when trucks are moving through that space, and then they'll reopen. So the longest they would be shut would be probably a minute or two, and then that will reopen for pedestrian traffic. This sidewalk that goes along the north side of the stadium will remain open. So you'll still be able to walk from Carrington and that area through this side. And then of course, the north side of the mall will always remain open for the duration. And then it's just close up of, we'll be in the south side. We'll have this whole area back here will be fenced in, but those walks will be accessible. You will see additional truck traffic and that type of thing. Lot 4 will remain as is. It will not be affected at this time. And then across the street at lot 18, we'll be fencing off one of the segments to use for construction materials. And then the other side will be used for construction parking. And then when the project is complete, we'll be paving those lots. This is just a visual of what that would look like over there at the parking lot. And then this is the beginning of the schedule. They will commence the mobilization, and that is putting in the fencing and getting the doors blocked off. So, and signage and all those kinds of things will start while you're on break. Most of you, 12/19, they plan on starting the demolition right after the new year, with getting as much of the demolition complete as possible, especially where they have to cut the existing building and all the noise that creates. They're going to try to get that done while the majority of people are on break. And then the plan is to move in either the fall of 24 going into the spring of 25. And the reason we're leaving that range is just because of supply chain and schedules, and getting materials is still kind of questionable. So we want to be able to be prepared for that. And if you have any questions or concerns, we've set up a separate email for the project. So that way we monitor that quickly. It doesn't get plugged up with a bunch of other email. And then you can always call the Plain Design and Construction. We are also going to initiate a QR code that the construction company Whiting Turner will maintain, where they will have weekly construction updates of what's going to be happening when. And that will launch as soon as the project starts in December. And we'll also have that on the PDC website, and it will also be posted throughout Temple Hall. And some of the other things that they're doing, we're going to add a couple of new security cameras that will be permanent. One will be on Meyer Library and one at 18A. And then they also have vibration sensors that they will place in labs where there's a concern about any vibration that may be caused by the work, so they can monitor that. And if it gets beyond certain levels that are acceptable, they'll shut down construction until we can work out the plan. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Or any slide that you'd like to see again, just to see which doors are getting blocked off and such?
All right. Like I said, anytime, if anybody has any questions, just email, give us a call, and we'll get those things addressed as soon as possible.
And we'll get this recorded. We're already recording this, and so we'll get it posted too. So if you've got colleagues that have questions, or if you just have general questions along the way, we're trying to keep the lines of communication open just as much as possible. And like I said, we'll give you updates as soon as we have them next semester, and especially as we start looking at the next phases of all of this. Right now, we're really focused on getting this piece started, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. Look forward to hearing any questions that you might have, even if they come later. So thanks for your time this afternoon, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.